Howdy and welcome to video number 3 in our training series. In this training series, we're going to be covering the leveling phase. In the previous video, we covered the gem phase, which you have to complete before proceeding with the leveling phase. As a reminder, if you go to the home page, you can access your battle stats somewhere on this screen, and you need to have 250 or better in each of these 4 stats, meaning your total battle stats need to be 1,000 or higher. If you haven't completed that step, you need to go back to the previous video and follow those instructions. The purpose of the leveling phase is to get you to level 15. The main reason for getting to level 15 is it unlocks flying, a perk that significantly will increase your income and give you the money you need for things like Xanax and candy so that you can continue to progress in this game and get stronger. This video will cover some steps that will help you to get to level 15 as quickly as possible. The first thing you'll want to be aware of is something called Baldr's List, BALDR. And we can access this by going to the Faction Forum page. First click here on the Forums tab. Then click here where it says My Faction. And then you're looking for Tim's links. That's right here. And you're going to search this list for Baldr's List. And that link is right here. Once you get to this forum post, I think that this particular post is worth a read before you click the link, which is located right here. Good leveling targets. Again, on this page, it's good to read this information, which basically says if you pick the right targets to attack, you will level quicker. After you give this a quick read, scroll down here and read this brief discussion about the website link provided here. You'll notice here that it says you're going to need something called a public only access API key. And I'm going to cover that before we click the link to this website. In order to create an API key, we're going to go up here to your faction icon, and then we're going to go to Settings. Once on this screen, you're going to want to click API keys. Now, API keys are something like a password that are not meant to be shared with others. For that reason, I'm not going to click this at this time. But no, once you click here, you'll have an opportunity to create an API key. You can name that key whatever you like, but you need to make sure before you click Create, you've selected Public Access. Once you've completed that step, you'll want to copy that API key, which is going to be a series of random numbers and letters. Note, at any time in the future, if you need that public access API key again, you can come back at any time to click here and copy that key. Back at the forum post, there is this website link which we're now ready to click. You can see right here is the section in which you need to paste the API key we created before and put it here and then click Fetch. I'm going to complete that step off screen and then show you what the screen should look like next. Okay, so slightly above here is where my API key is, and I've already clicked the button that says Fetch, okay? And I'm not going to show you that key because, again, it's something like a password. But what you'll see once you arrive here is a list of targets. These targets are what are generally known as inactive targets, meaning they're actual player accounts that went dormant because the player stopped using the game. One of the advantages of using these player targets is that these people are inactive, therefore they're not going to retaliate or attack you if you attack them. The other reason for using these targets is that this list of targets is going to be tailored to those that are best going to help you to level up quickly. In my case, you'll see a lot of level 25 through 30, 35 targets here, and this is because my stats are very high. In your case, you may see targets that are level 5 or level 10. It doesn't really matter. Just know that this tool will give you the best targets to help you level quickly. Once you access the list, you'll see that some of the targets say attack and others say attack, but it's currently grayed out. This is because the target is currently hospitalized, and you may have to wait a while for some of these people to come out of the hospital so you can attack them again. I generally recommend that you start at the top of the list, but note here that you can see their total battle stats here, in addition to seeing their strength, defense, speed, dexterity, etc. Once you've decided who you're going to attack, it's a simple matter of clicking the attack button here. Unfortunately, in this case, the person was attacked before I could get here and they're currently in the hospital. This means I'm going to have to go back to the Baldur's list. Once back at the Baldur's list, you can hit refresh. After hitting refresh, you may have to reinsert or paste your API key here before clicking fetch again. Now that I'm back here, I'm going to attack the first target on the list. Once you're here, I suggest you act quickly because it's very likely that someone else is going to be attacking these targets based on the fact that lots of people have access to this list. I'm not going to complete a fight here, but you're going to start fight and use your weapons as needed. Note as I was talking there, that this person has already been attacked and hospitalized. This is the reason I encourage you to move quickly as you're working through Baldur's List because people will constantly be attacking these targets. Note here at the top of the web page where you put your API key, there's an option here to switch the list. If you run into situations where these targets are constantly in the hospital, you may experiment with switching to a different list to see if there's going to be more targets available. As you progress, you should get event notifications here regarding a new level being available for upgrade. And you should also see up here your current level. And if there's an upgrade to be had, you'll see a link here that you can click. As you have the opportunity to increase your level, you'll want to continue to do that because among other things, every level increase will result in your life or health bar getting larger. Once you reach level 15, you will have unlocked flying. And this is an opportune time for you to upgrade to a private island rental if you do not already have one. To access available rental properties, we're going to go here to the city menu. And then once here, we're going to look for the estate agents. We want to go up here to the rental market. We're going to select private island. Click search, and our goal here is to achieve two things with our private rental. First, you'll want to try and get a private island that has maximum happiness. In this case, the maximum happiness available seems to be 4,225. The other key thing we're looking for in a rental property is that it has a private airstrip, and we can determine that by clicking here in the info column. Notice in the case of this particular rental, there's a little airplane, and if we hover here, it says airstrip. Getting a private island is all about maximum happiness and this airstrip. Those are two critical things you'll want to get with your private island rental. In addition to those two critical things, one other factor is going to be the cost. In the case of this particular private island rental, the rental period is 100 days, but it comes at a cost of $90 million. It's highly unlikely at this phase you have $90 million to spend, even though this is a pretty good value. So for this reason, you should generally look for one that has a shorter rental term like this one here at 7 days, which will only cost you $10 million. Although I would try and find one that's going to cost you somewhere between $800,000 and $1 million per day. With enough persistence, you should be able to find a private island rental that has about 4,000 happiness and a term of 10 to 7 days and costs roughly $800,000 to $1 million. In this case, my best option is this one here. It's a 10-day rental for $1.1 million per day at a total cost of $11 million. One of the reasons that I'm showing you this now as you begin the leveling phase is to bring to your attention the fact that you're going to need somewhere between, say, $8 and $12 million after you finish the leveling phase in order to get this private island rental. As you're working on leveling, you'll want to make every effort you can to save money in order to be ready to do this rental when you finish level 15. As mentioned before, one of the reasons that travel is so important is it gives you an opportunity to increase your income. If you go up here to Wiki and type in travel, there's a detailed explanation here that talks about all the specifics of travel. I encourage you to give this a read, but the basic premise is this. We're going to fly overseas to different countries and we're going to purchase flowers and plushies for a low price that we can then sell at a higher price back in Torn City. Some additional information is provided in the faction Discord under guides making money. You'll want to read those guides in the faction Discord to become familiar with all the specifics of flying after you have the private island rental with the airstrip. One other upcoming purchase to start planning for now is the purchase of a large suitcase. As mentioned here in the wiki post, a large suitcase allows you to carry 4 additional items. These 4 additional items will result in an increase in your travel income of roughly 20%. This is the reason you'll want to get this large suitcase as quickly as possible. If we return to the city by clicking here and then go to the item market and then type large suitcase, you'll see here that these tend to cost about $10 million. Again, the reason I'm mentioning this now as you start the leveling phase is that between the private island rental and the large suitcase, you can expect to spend roughly $20 million. Starting to save now towards those 2 significant purchases is going to be very important. Once you have finished level 15, you will want to do a few things. First, you need to notify your faction coach or notify leadership and faction chat that you've completed this step. Once you've done this, you'll receive the video of the next step of the training process, which basically is returning back to gym training so that you can continue to grow as a stronger player. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.